over you. But my
Hello.
camera is okay. Now I can switch on my camera too. So, nice to meet you all.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Sargsyan. Hello, Syrup.
Can we start or we should wait someone?
Well, I will make an introduction, then I will pass the speech to the Grandmaster Jaime Sumier, that is collaborating with us. And then Mr. Jaime will introduce you, Mr. Sargsyan, and we will open the speech to you. Then you can make your presentation and the following presentations. And then we will have 10 minutes for questions and answers. So I will begin. I will start speaking Portuguese. Wait a minute, Mr. Sargsyan. Bom dia a todos. Obrigado pela presença. Hoje estamos começando os trabalhos do segundo Encontro Internacional de Pesquisadores em Xadrez, com a participação do professor Sargsyan e mais sua equipe da Armênia. Eles vão apresentar o Instituto de Pesquisas Científicas sobre Xadrez da Armênia. Vão também apresentar algumas pesquisas que lá são realizadas. Nós fizemos uma reunião na semana passada com os armênios e eles me perguntaram, Valério, qual é o propósito desse evento que vocês estão organizando aí no Brasil? Aí eu expliquei para eles e quero compartilhar com vocês que o nosso propósito é instituir um espaço para a apresentação de trabalhos científicos sobre o uso do jogo de xadrez como tecnologia para o ensino, para o desenvolvimento social e também para o tratamento terapêutico de diversos transtornos, como ansiedade, transtorno de déficit de atenção. E lá no Instituto Federal do Paraná, nós temos um curso de pós-graduação a nível de mestrado em Ciência, Tecnologia e Sociedade. E eu abri uma linha de pesquisas sobre xadrez no Instituto Federal. Então, o objetivo desse nosso encontro é ter esse espaço para que os pesquisadores possam fazer a comunicação oral dos seus trabalhos com a possibilidade posterior de publicação em uma revista científica, o que é muito importante para quem está fazendo pós-graduação ou pretende ainda fazer uma pós-graduação. A primeira edição do evento foi no ano passado, em 2019, quando tivemos 20 trabalhos inscritos, dos quais 10 foram publicados. Agora, em 2020, nós crescemos bastante. Nós temos 50 apresentações e mais conferencistas, com a participação de integrantes de 14 países. O evento, como já disse, é organizado pelo Instituto Federal do Paraná, mas tem a colaboração da Universidade Federal do Paraná, da Federação de Xadrez do Paraná, cujo presidente está aqui presente, o Paulo Virgílio, da Confederação Brasileira de Xadrez Escolar, da Confederação Brasileira de Esportes da Mente, da Universidade do Estado de Santa Catarina, e também a colaboração particular de vários colegas enxadristas que estão dispostos a trabalhar pelo xadrez ciência. A todos eles, e também a vocês que estão nos prestigiando agora, o nosso muito obrigado. Hoje faremos a gravação da conferência do Dr. Vahan Sargsyan sobre o Instituto de Pesquisa de Xadrez da Armênia. Para fazer a mediação da nossa conferência, contaremos com a colaboração do grande mestre Jaime Sumier Neto, que foi 7 vezes campeão brasileiro, foi ex-presidente da Confederação Brasileira de Xadrez, também participou de vários projetos de xadrez e educação, Então, eu passo a palavra para o grande mestre Jaime Sunier. Obrigado, Jaime.
Obrigado, Valério. É um prazer participar da abertura e dessa palestra do professor Vahan Sargsyan, né, sobre xadrez escolar. Nós temos uma profunda admiração pelo trabalho desenvolvido na Armênia com o xadrez, né? Nós sabemos de todo o trabalho, além dos laços de amizade que a gente tem com Lputian, amigo de 1980, quando eu tive a oportunidade de conhecer Yerevan, né? Até hoje a gente mantém uma relação bastante próxima, né? E eu gostaria de começar apresentando o Dr. Vahan Sargsyan. Ele é um psicólogo, né, doutorado na área, é chefe do Departamento de Residência Pedagógica da Universidade do Estado da Armênia, né, e tem, obviamente, um destaque muito grande e uma importância muito grande dentro do xadrez escolar em todo o mundo, né. Eu já, sem mais delongas, então, vou passando a palavra para o professor Dr. Vahan Sargsyan. So, Dr. Vahan Sargsyan, if you want to start your presentation, or if you want to talk anything else.
Okay, thank you, dear Grandmaster, dear Mr. Sunier.
Nice to meet you.
I heard many familiar words, and I think that I understood what about the conversation was. So I'm going to share my presentation, my desktop. Nice to meet you all, even in this virtual platform, Zoom. It would be great to meet you in real life, but now the situation of coronavirus is going to be not normal. But hopefully everything will be okay. And I am delighted to represent Armenian State Pedagogical University's Chess Scientific Research Institute. I believe that you all know about Armenia. We are in war conditions so recently, and maybe you have heard about a war in Armenia too, but we are working hard, and now we are very, very happy for this opportunity to present the results of our small job to Brazilian and international community, international experts, and so on. Thank you very much. And now I'm going to share my desktop. How to do that? So demonstration. This is my desktop that I'm going to share. Yes. Can you see my desktop? Okay. Thank you very much. I'm going to, firstly, we have, now we are 3 colleagues. My colleagues are going to present their presentations too, but first presentation will be mine. And I'm going to tell you about chess in Armenian schools, research and development, because maybe you all know that Armenia is the only country which implemented chess as a compulsory subject in all schools of our country. This compulsory subject, which is part of school curricula, and it is a mandatory subject, and every and they are chess in our schools. So, before presenting some research results, I'm going to tell you about how we can implement this, how the decision makers could do this, because many countries were asking, are there any problems with that? Because they also maybe want to implement, and I know many countries that are going to do that. But to be honest, it is not easy way. Over 5 years expertise in teaching chess in schools, was already we had before implementing. 3,500 teachers were trained so far in order to prepare teachers for teaching in schools in chess. 40,000 pupils learning chess on a yearly basis each year, from 2nd to 4th grade. About 360,000 pupils were involved in chess in school compulsory program so far. And there are now, we have more than 100 tested methodologies, teaching methodologies of teaching chess, particularly. Books and textbooks of chess obviously have been created, developed, and some of them are already improved. They have been enhanced and they have been changed in order to fit the current needs of our stakeholders. Scholastic Chess Olympiad and over 50,000 pupils participate in it annually. And school psychologists, methodologists have been trained and involved in this process. And 4,100 chess teachers have been trained for that. Then if you have questions, maybe you can have your questions even during my speech, but let me finish my sentence just. If you have questions, I'm ready to answer questions, not waiting for the finish of our presentation. The key principles of implementing chess in schools were necessity of teaching and learning chess for all students, not for only special students or on optional way. Students' active participation in chess lessons is also very important part and factor of effective implementation. Practical orientation of chess lessons is also a very important part. The decision makers or developers, of how to call them, I don't know, they took into account that chess and math have many similarities, and in terms of value system of competencies of teachers, etc. Objectives of chess, why we implemented this. Many people ask us why we have implemented chess in schools. First of all, that we all can have, come up with that chess is one of the best, if not to say the best, of developing cognitive skills of children. The chess also has a good potential for developing people's patience, willingness to learn deeply, I mean, hardworking, reflecting on goal settings, etc. And we took into consideration these values, these objectives, when we have prepared the list of learning outcome. Now we have already improved this. This is the first version of our school curriculum's learning outcomes. And you can see 3 levels here: minimal level, average level, and high level. Now you can see many pictures, photos from our teacher training courses or Olympic school Olympic games, and active collaboration with all chess institutions, Chess Academy, Chess Federation, Chess Scientific Institute, who were responsible for coordination of this implementation, is one of the key factors of our success, I can say. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about our institute. What is that institute? This is Research Institute. You know that we, in our university, we began to prepare chess teachers chess teachers. We start to prepare them parallel with primary school teachers. All primary school teachers now can learn chess, and they must learn chess. This is compulsory subject in our university too. So we decided to establish a research center in order to monitor the results of our implementation. Three main groups of researchers have been gathered together, and three directions of our research I can outline now. First of them is comparative research of educational progress. You know about teams, PISA, etc., researches based on mathematics, on literacy, etc., or problem solving. And we did the same for our chess. Then, methodological problems of chess. We need many materials, many methodological materials, courses, many guidelines, etc. And our methodological group of our institute is maintaining to do this. And the very important part of our research is chess and inclusive educational practices. I know that in Brazil and in Latin America, there are many professionals who use chess as a therapeutic tool for psychotherapy, educational therapy, etc. This part of our institutional research is devoted to do the similar things. There are many conferences. We have organized at least 3 conferences in our country, international conferences, and we have involved many grandmasters, chess researchers, other professionals in our conferences. Organized in Armenia in 2014, 2016, and 2019. And during 2018, our research institute has been established, but the basis of this institute was in our research center, which has been established in 2015. Teacher training courses we organized on a yearly basis. Every year we organize trainings for teachers because we have to have prepared teachers because we don't have this specialization, we didn't have before that. And we took coaches, masters of chess, other personalities who did not have educational competencies. And if you like, you can find many resources, many information about our teacher training on our website, which I'm going to introduce a little bit later. Just to be said that we have 2 parts. Psychopedagogical part of training, which involves classroom management, lesson planning, assessment methods and tools, psychological peculiarities or features of teaching in primary schools, teaching chess in inclusive settings, psychopedagogical work with parents, which is also important part, and teaching methods. I have to mention that our institute is mainly aimed to find out, to reveal some research information, knowledge about chess in school program, not particularly about chess. This is interdisciplinary team. We have psychologists, sociologists, special educationalists, or philosophy, etc. But we are going to find out how our implementation of chess in schools is effective and how it can be changed, how to monitor and assure the quality of this implementation. So these are always the second part is chess part, chess methodology part, which involves puzzles of 2 moved mates, 3 moved mates, interesting Zugzwang, methods of problem solving with heavy individualized figures, technology of teaching position, evaluating critic plan in chess, and teaching and games. These are chess methodologies train our teachers to for these topics. We now in this year we are going to, but unfortunately the war on coronavirus stops, and we have some problems with our plans to observe the emotional expressions of our students in chess lessons. And for that objective, for that goal, we had we took one program which the name of the Face Reader 8, version 8, and we are going to implement in the future of this. And this will help us to understand the emotional expressions of the participants of educational processes. This is our website. You can write out chessstudy.com, and chess@SPAM is our email address. And also you can find information about us on this web page. I recommend, and I'm inviting you to observe, to watch and to see our web page, but I'm also inviting you to Armenia after the coronavirus crisis, obviously, and to meet us, and we are all ready to participate in your countries. Research activities. We were doing, and we are doing also research about psychophysiological aspects of chess, and for that objective we use EGOSCOPE, called EGOSCOPE complex. This is tool for psychophysiological research, and we found many interesting information about the perceptions, and hopefully our colleagues Vahan Sargsyan and Vahan Sargsyan can tell you a little bit more about this part of our research. And so we had many interesting researches, but I'm going to tell you about a few of them. Particularly, this research has been conducted in 2016, and we took teams sampling as a basic for our research, and we set dimensions for, and we developed chess tests for testing the achievements of students' achievements in chess, and we set many dimensions there for contextual factors. The main idea was how to find the factors, main or contextual, which have great impact of on effective implementation chess in schools. So we had to reveal what helps to implement chess effectively, what does not let to do that, does not let do that effectively. So here's some information about the number of participants, the sampling of 500 pupils, their teachers, in 38 teachers were involved, and their parents were also involved. we took 3 parts of our participation. Here you see that from all the regions in Armenia were involved, schools from all regions, depend on how the number of schools in each region, etc. What we found here, we found that distribution of scores, the left part of my presentation is shows that the numbers, the students' answers are mostly in the normal case. But here we see on the right part of my presentation that in 2016, some of our tasks, assignments, were too difficult for some children. And this research helped us to do some changes in educational curriculum, in books, and take off some of assignments which are not appropriate for all students. Because in comparison of chess as a sport or as a competitional tool, in school chess should be for all students. You know. That's why, well, we did not have objective to teach chess for preparing grandmasters, masters, etc. But our aim was to use chess as a tool for, firstly, for cognitive and emotional and moral development of our future generation. Here you can see some results about the first research. You know that you can see that here are intercorrelational matrix, we call it, and you see that, for example, parents' educational level correlated with lesson preparation conditions. In other words, if parents' educational level is high, they share better conditions for their kids' learning. This, for example, this result shows about that. I will share my presentation and I will prepare a text part of my report, of my speech, and I will be very, very happy for your comments, for your critiques, for your questions, for discussion on the topic, because I believe that it will help us to understand even our research. And information sharing is very important. And then I will finish quickly. You see another research which devoted to chess and deep and reflective learning. This shows that the students who are well in chess or are good in chess, they are good and deep and reflective learners. This is very important information because chess helps us to think, to reflect on the material that we learn, even from other subjects. This is one more, here it's almost about it. So, one other research that shows that students love chess, and the chess is one of their favorite subjects in the school, and the majority of parents also have positive attitudes toward the fact that chess is included as a compulsory subject. And the latest research by our team, mainly I was also involved, I was leader of this research, is about the monitoring. And again, we were trying to understand the factors, but we did this research in 2019, and we have analyzed the results recently, 2 weeks ago, and some part of this research we sent to international high impact Scopus journals. And what we found that chess is widely used as an important for developing cognitive skills of school children, and parents perceive and they understand this importance now. This belief is more spread among female teachers. So women believe that chess can help students to become more clever than men. This is students' progress in chess is mostly in line with their skills and knowledge in native language and mathematics. So the skills in chess are in line with these two main subjects that normally we discuss and we consider as the most important. How to say? The role of chess as a school subject has been increasing continuously, while pupils has been learning to implement chess abilities for developing their problem-solving skills. This is a very important part, but students believe that if they know chess and if they can solve problems on chessboard, they can do the same in real life. And this is very important part. And this research can help them to do that. And the last conclusion that we have made, the development of student independent learning skills and implementation, small group working, interactive learning is very important for developing their skills in chess and developing their cognitive skills, obviously. This was just brief presentation of what we have been doing and what we are doing. Thank you very much for your attention. Please, how should we work? Now, are you going to ask questions now or it's at the end? I don't know, which is preferable. Maybe now.
Yeah, well, we have already, Sargsyan, well, congratulations, a great presentation. Thank you very much for the work. We had thought that maybe we make all the questions together at the end. Would it be better, or you have any? Can be? Can it be?
Normal, at the end, okay. Thank you. And if we do it, okay, so we can ask our colleague Smbat Lputian can present his presentation already. Just I am turning off my desktop sharing.
Perfect.
And Smbat, go ahead, Nalasunes. Всем сам джотом. Вы пропустили, он сам остановить демонстрацию. Окей, thank you.
Okay. Welcome, Mr. Xadrez. If you
do you see my screen?
Yep. Very well. Very clear. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Smbat Lputian, and I work for the Chess Institute. And today I want to to make a very short presentation about the educational potential of chess. As my colleague Vahan mentioned, Armenia is currently the only country in the world which has chess as an obligatory subject. And I want to talk from the point of view of neuroscience, why playing chess, why learning chess is very important. The critical question here is attention. Maybe not many people talk about this, but in my opinion, and not only in my opinion, attention is the most critical component of education and human life. There's a famous Nobel Prize winner, Herbert Simon, who told that we are living in attention economy. Why? Because the businesses are competing with each other to grab people's attention. And it's a truth that the people or staff we are paying attention, they also take our money, they take our time, they take our life. So the critical issue in our life is the following: how we are using our attention. Are we giving our attention to important things in this life? Or do we have this important capacity to concentrate our attention on important things? It's approved by science that concentration of our attention for a long time is completely human, and only human beings have this capacity to concentrate their attention for a long time. And there is one interesting saying about one of the successful business people in the world. When someone asked him, "What is the secret of your success?" And he said, "My secret is the following. I am giving my attention to some things, to one thing at a time," which is, he said, "I don't multitask at all." So now, in our opinion, chess has a very big possibility for developing students' attention capacities. And it's very interesting that in English, by the way, we say pay attention, which means attention is something which has a cost, which has a value. So that's why it's very important for us. And every person who plays chess, I'm one of these people, knows that playing chess is really developing your attention concentration possibilities. And here I have a quote from a famous American psychologist, William James, who said, "We must reflect that when we reach the end of our days, our life experience will equal what we have paid attention to, whether by choice or default." This means we should care about our freedom of attention. We should every minute should think about the following question: are we giving our attention to an important thing or non-important thing? Now, there is a very famous cognitive psychologist whose name is Levitin, and in his book, which is very famous, called Organized Mind, he's talking about the dangers of multitasking. So here he says that multitasking has a cognitive cost. If people multitask, unfortunately, we have this problem now in the world. There is a cost we pay, and the cost is that if we multitask, we cannot do a high quality job. If you pay attention to our life organization in current world, we see that our life currently consists of lots of distractions. We are losing the capacity of concentrating on one thing, on deep concentration. And it's proven that without deep concentration, it's not possible to produce high quality intellectual products. So this is another important evidence why concentration is very important. Another interesting thing, which is connected also with chess, is that our thinking consists of two modes of thinking: focused thinking and diffuse thinking. And which means that, for example, we cannot, it's not correct to focus your thinking for a very long time without diffusing it. And the right approach is the following: for some period of time, you should focus on something, and then for another time, you should diffuse your thinking. Now, I can show you this on a chessboard. Here we see a game between Garry Kasparov, two world champions, Garry Kasparov, and there you see Magnus Carlsen, who is at this point a child. As you see here, Garry Kasparov is in focused mode. He is focused on thinking on his move, and we see Magnus Carlsen in a diffuse mode, which means in chess, you focus, you do your move, and then you have some time to diffuse your thinking and then come back to a focused mode of thinking. So this is how human thinking is working. And it's a proof that chess has this opportunity. With chess, we learn to focus our thinking and then diffuse our thinking. And why diffuse? I understand that focused thinking is very important, but why diffuse thinking is also important? Because many important thoughts come to our mind when we are in a diffuse mode. And there is a lots of interesting stories about scientists, writers, who said that many great ideas came to them when they were just walking and just wandering. Their thoughts were wandering, and then some idea came to them. So that's why these two modes of thinking are very important. Another thing which is very well developed in chess, and education system really needs it, is this deliberate practice. Unfortunately, currently in education system, there is a trend that we should use generic approach, generic skill approach, which means if we want to teach children something, we need to teach the skill directly. For example, if I want a child to do some project, I need to teach them through project. Unfortunately, this is not right. Why? Because before doing some projects, children need to have some basic knowledge about this topic. If they don't know anything, if they don't have knowledge, if they don't have computer skills, other skills, they cannot do a high quality project. And in chess, we have this other approach, deliberate practice approach, where, for example, if you go to chess club, the chess coach is not giving 100% of time on playing chess. Maybe some small time, but the vast majority of time goes on deliberate practices. For example, on learning end games, on solving some problems, or on some defenses or other tactical and strategic knowledge. So with this, I want to summarize my presentation and say that this is one of the reasons why why in Armenia we give importance to chess learning, because we think that now societies which are strong in attention, on concentration and thinking skills, they will have better possibilities. Societies which are too much distracted and they don't have this important cognitive skills, they will have problems, because, as you know, our world is very fragmented. We are living in a world which are lots of attractions, and we need to learn how we should concentrate our attention. And playing chess is one of the maybe strongest tools how we can do this. So thank you very much. With this, later I will be ready to respond to your questions. Thank you.
Jaime, parece que ele gostaria de responder as perguntas agora, nesse momento.
Angela Sargsyan, maybe she can present our third presentation. Yeah. Is she available? Angela Sterek?
Ayo, Vahan Sargsyan.
Are you ready?
Yes, we are here. Yes, we are ready. Thank you. Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Angela. Thank you. I am presented Armenia Pedagogical University after Xadrez. I'm psychologist. Yes, I will share. Let me introduce our report about critical thinking and motivation of chess teachers with best experience. World Economic Forum in Davos published the list of skills that will be in demand in the labor market in 2020. This list includes the following abilities: complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, people management, coordination with others, emotional intelligence, judgment and decision making, service orientation, negotiation, cognitive flexibility. Critical thinking and emotional intellect are highlighted in the labor market. The ultimate goal of critical thinking is to develop skills of analyzing the situation, making decisions, and solving problems. Critical thinkers base their conclusions on facts rather than emotions. They are able to analyze their own judgments, identify omissions, and predict consequences, generally improving their ideas. In the 21st century, the competitive labor market is really emphasizing the role of critical thinking teachers in the educational process for upcoming generation. However, the need to have critically thinking teachers in the educational system and to motivate them has increased, and employers are aware of its potential. In the last decade, many theories have been developed to characterize work motivation, which mostly study the needs of the person, their impact on the motivational sphere of work activity. In order to record the level of critical thinking of chess teachers with the best experience of teaching at school, its components, as well as the level of work motivation, in 2019, a team of psychologists from the Chess Scientific Research Institute conducted an experimental research. The experimental research was conducted in 2019 in the following stages. First stage, development of methodological basis of the research. Second, selection of research methods, experimental application, adaptation. Third stage, implementation of scientific research work. And fourth, analysis of collected data, formulation of conclusions, and practical recommendations. The methodological basis of the research are first, theoretical provisions of critical thinking of Murawski and Lundquist, and second, theory of work motivation. The sample of research. The experimental research was conducted in Kotaik region with a total of 45 chess teachers. Teachers from different schools of Kotaik region were selected according to the following criteria: expert assessment and accreditation results. And I want to say that on the initiative of the Chess Academy of Armenia, every year the chess teachers are accredited in the territory of Republic Armenia and Nagorno-Karabakh. The third-day training courses are conducted by chess methodists and psychologists pedagogists. And Vahan Sargsyan says about this. At the end of the participation, the teachers fill in an examination questionnaire, which includes chess problems and psychological pedagogical questions. Now I want to say that our report will continue my colleague Armine Khachaturian. Please, Armine.
Thank you, Angela. I'm sorry that my camera is off. I'm Armine Khachaturian, and I'll be continue our report. Just a minute, please. And so, I will be present the methods of experimental research. There are first critical thinking questionnaire. It's our author's elaboration. When comparing the critical thinking questionnaire, we based on the theoretical propositions of critical thinking of Murawski and Lundquist. And second, Hesberg motivation structures tests. Below, we present the current level of performance of each of the components of critical thinking of chess teachers during their professional activity according to the average data. You can see the first is acceptance of personal restriction, 60%, considering problems as a challenge, 40%, realization of goal effectiveness, 55%, use of evidence to make a decision, 45%, interest in others' ideas, 55%, acceptance of changes, 30%, rejection of stereotypes, 40%, avoidance of emotions, 30%, acceptance of new ideas, 35%, and actively listening ability, 45%. In order to make the indicators of the components of critical thinking more visible, we present them in the form of a diagram. And you can see now the results of surveys conducted by the critical thinking questionnaire showed that 62% of the 45 surveyed chess teachers mostly perform critical thinking. You can see it in the diagram too. And before planning and carrying out the research work, our research team was interested in the following questions. How motivated are the chess teachers with the best teaching experience? and what are the prevailing motivation in the work. In order to find out the level of work motivation of chess teachers having the best experience of teaching in school, we used Hesberg's motivation structure test, which aims to identify the set of motives that dominate the structure of work motivation. And now about the analysis of our research. The analysis of the research data shows that in the work motivation of chess teachers, the internal motives prevail over the external ones. Interestingly, external motives, management policy, working conditions, interpersonal relationship with management, salary and social status make up a percentage, 25%, a small percentage, 25%. And those we can conclude that according to Herzberg motivation structure test, the 75% of the 45 chess teachers surveyed were dominated by internal motives and 25% by external motives during the working process. You can see it in the figure 2. And based on the results of experimental research, we conclude that teachers with the best experience of teaching chess in the course of their professional activities accept their personal limitation, realize the importance of the goal, are interested in the thought of others, show active listening skills. This testifies to their critical thinking ability. At the same time, it was found out that teachers with the best chess teaching experience, especially in their professional activities, emphasize career advancement, acceptance and encouragement of work results, responsibility, opportunities for creative and professional growth. This indicates that regardless of salary and the social status, teachers are especially driven by internal motives. We strongly believe that the presence of the above mentions professional competencies of teachers with best chess teaching experience also contributes to the infinity of the educational process. Therefore, in order to extend the best experience of chess teaching, our research team is currently developing a best teaching practice model for chess teachers aimed at developing the basic competencies and components of a 21st century teacher. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Just in time. Thank you, Armenia Angela.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, Dr. Sargsyan, thank you very much. Excellent. Congratulations to Serob, Angela, and Armin. Fantastic. Should we proceed to the questions?
Yes, yes. And I have already some questions.
You read? Okay. If you want.
They were in Portugal, but I translated and then I answered to the persons. I don't know, do they notice? But
there are some in English, some in Portuguese, but
yes,
of
but
course
I use Google Translator for that.
Okay.
But if they have questions, I'm ready. Only I'm apologize because my computer is switched off now. I have connected via my phone, and I cannot share my presentation if needed. But you can ask questions even after our session, I wrote my email, and if someone has to have more detailed explanation, etc., I am ready to do that, and I believe that my colleagues too. So
okay.
I'm ready to try to answer your questions, please.
You want that I ask it, or you
Who has questions? We are ready to answer. Who?
Okay.
Any questions or?
There are Antonio Holanda asked about the neuroscience and how they support your research in Armenia.
Unfortunately, we don't have opportunity to maintain with neuroscience because the equipment for doing this type of research is very expensive. But he also asked me about Mr. Fernand Gobet's research and the similarities or differences and approaches, social sciences or natural sciences. Yes, but Mr. Gobet, it has to be mentioned that Mr. Gobet, we met him in London, and his research devoted to chess, but our research devoted to chess in schools. But we asked him to use his methodology for counting the number of hours in schools, because his research was about the number of hours playing chess and reaching the mastery in chess. For example, he not grandmasters, but masters have much more time. They share much more time for chess, etc. This kind of research we are going to do in the future. Okay. We agree with Mr. Gobet. But neuroscience, no. Just psychophysiological, not neuroscience.
The question about Gobet, I made Dr. Da Silva, is about the heavy work. I guess the first work was about the criticals, about some research faking chess in school that had some faults. And he was very critical about that. Yeah. I don't know if you have read this work or not.
Yes, I have read and I have discussed with him personally. But where he has done his research, Armenia now is the only country with compulsory chess in schools. I've invited him to Armenia, and maybe if we do together research, we will have other results, or we can state the same results. I don't know. He has critical approaches to chess because there are many interesting factors in that contextual. What's the aim of chess? Not the chess as a competitional tool. Chess as an educational tool is absolutely different. Not absolutely, but there are many differences, to be honest.
Okay.
This is the main problem.
Yeah, I guess the work was about the old studies published in the 80s, 90s. No? But another question is about the cognitive abilities of Paolo Nicolini. How do you verify this work? How you quantify this development?
Maybe
or how you test the knowledge?
We have many tests and surveys that we have used. On intellectual test, thinking, we use maybe Angela and Armenia can in details explain what I say, but we have interesting research about divergent thinking and convergent thinking, and how they can be developed through chess in schools. And we used the appropriate, I don't remember the name of question or the name of survey. Angela, հետազոտությունները դիվերգենտ մտածողության ծորի
Արապետյանը չէ՞։
Հարցարանն էինք օգտագործում։
Ջիլբերտի։
Չէ։
Համարաները արել չգիտեմ, չեմ։
Unfortunately, our colleague who was expert in this today could not join us, but we have this kind of researches. But particularly in my research, I did not use any questionnaire for cognitive skills, but I have asked parents and students, do they have any progress in developing cognitive skills? How parents or teachers can notice what kind of changes in cognitive sphere they can notice among pupils, among students. So our research was not devoted to cognitive skills, but Angela's and Armena's research is mostly aimed to find about attention, features, cognitive կարողությունների շատ բաներ ունեք. Maybe Angela can answer this question.
I can say, dear colleagues, that for the first time in Armenia, the field of psychological researches has been provided with EGOSCOPE scientific research complex that allows us to organize objective psychological analysis and testing. And what we have done, taking into consideration the educational goals of elementary school standards for chess as a curriculum item, the chess, our psychological team set forth relevant research objectives and pertinent methodology. And we have many researches about the attention of learners, and the methodology was stability evaluation of attention and barriers. We have researches done with Raven progressive metrics, and aim was to form and develop the aim of chess, chess of in schools is to form and develop learners' mental abilities, and objective to detect and compare the level of logical thinking among the groups of students learning chess and those who don't learn chess. And with Raven progressive matrix methodology, we have done these researches. I can say that we have researched the intellectual ability of our learners. And you can see all our researches in our website. What about says Vahan Sargsyan? I can say that all these researches is about objective psychological analysis and testing.
Okay. Thank you very much, Angela.
I see that Paolo
Please.
Nicolini wrote a wonderful question to me about transfer. Thank you, Paolo, for this great question. It's really a very important question. His question is how we transfer the attention from chessboard to real life. That's a really interesting question, because chess and real life sometimes are really very different. In chess is a game with lots of certainties. There are lots of rules in chess, right? So chess has lots of certainties. Football maybe is more close to real life because it has more uncertainties than chess. But my reply will be the following. By the way, the transfer question is one of the key questions in education. For example, the key question that main educationalists are asking now, how we can transfer something we learn in one field to other one. And here the research is not very positive. There are lots of research papers which say that unfortunately transfer is not working in all cases. Like if you learn for example, let's go to critical thinking. There is a big debate in education how we should teach critical thinking, through subjects or as a general skill. And the research says that if you teach critical thinking as a general skill, children will not have opportunities to apply it in their subjects, in their fields. That's why the right approach is that, for example, history teacher teaches critical thinking in history. Math teacher teaches critical thinking in math, because there is no this transferability of critical thinking. But here with attention, because attention is a kind of a cognitive ability. It's possible because it's not a content. Concentration of attention is not a content stuff. It's an ability. With this, if you have this skill of concentration, it's possible to use it in different fields. That's why here I'm more positive that yes, I agree with you that content things we cannot transfer, but this one we can. And I want to go further, because there is another interesting question in education which says, for example, why I need to learn mathematics in high school if I am going to social studies as a student. For example, in Armenia, we have this question: a student who is in high school, they sometimes say, okay, my preference is history. Why I need to learn mathematics in high school? Or why I need to learn different theoremas or cosinus, sinus, these types of things if I'm not going to apply them in my real life? The answer to this question is that we really need in education some useless knowledge. The approach that all knowledge should be useful is not correct, because we need also some useless knowledge. Why we need this useless knowledge? We need this useless knowledge because if this knowledge is a high level knowledge, it develops our thinking, and even if we forgot the content or if we don't apply it in real life, it's not a problem, because this knowledge already developed our mind. So the same I will say about chess. Chess has this opportunity to train your mind, and this is the most important thing for chess. And yes, I agree with Paulo that transfer may not guarantee 100%, but I think chess has this possibility. Thank you.
Okay. And one more comment, if you let me.
Hello?
So if you look at my presentation, which I am going to send you further, so we can see that I state that students believe that their problem solving in chess will help them to solve the problems in real life. So what I mean by that? That the transfer of skills from one field to another depends not only on the existence of these skills, but also there is one very interesting thing in psychology that we call it self-efficiency. How do I feel myself self-efficient or not to do this or that? So if you feel that, your chances increase increase. But if you don't feel that is self-efficiency, that you can do that, I can do that. It depends on that too. So it is very difficult question that Mr. in his book, Understanding Expertise, and he stated his approaches are very critical. I remember, I know that. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I guess, of course, transfer is always a complex question and not easy answers. Huh? But let's make some more direct question. Cristina Fiusa Carneiro asked about how the pandemic affected the chess in school project. Are you using any platform, or you have your own platform, or you develop something, you have some partnership? Pandemic.
Developed what? Sorry.
I don't know. It's a
platform.
how the project,
may I
Chess in
answer?
School project?
If I understand
Please.
what they mean, I can say that it depends on the research. The both. For example, my research is that I shared with you. I used database, but for gathering the data, we used many questionnaires, tests. We have developed chess test based on our chess in school curricula, and then we compare the results of chess with many factors, teachers' attitudes, students' attitudes, etc. And we gather, and then we have made factorial analysis for that.
No, the question, Vahan, is about what types of platforms we use for distance learning in chess.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Am I right?
Yeah, perfect.
Our institute was the first in Armenia which started distance learning courses for teachers. That's not an exaggeration. In Armenia, we were the first which immediately started teacher trainings for chess. And we used, as a platform, we used Zoom, but also we used many interesting digital tools. For example, here you mentioned about Lichess. Yes, we are using Lichess. We are using also, for example, Padlet. We are using quizzes. We are using Quizlet. We are using also what was the name of Tricision for brainstormings, Tricision tool. All these tools are free, and you can also use them. Right now, I will write the names of all these tools in the chat part, and you can use them in your turn. For example, quizzes and Quizlet are excellent tools for assessment, for giving students some assignments. Tricision is a good tool if you are doing brainstorming. Padlet is another important tool when you are, for example, doing a group work or assessment or brainstorming, or you can put all your resources there and students can use them. But also, yes, we use Lichess for chess assignments, problems, maybe other tools as well.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kashatrian. Another question from Antonio Landa. It's about you talk about the teacher, how you the courses to form the teachers, etc. Do they need to make these courses, or can they teach chess without any official?
They must have. After trainings, we have special examination.
They must
Complete the tests, and after that we make decision how many years they can have license for teaching chess. But in future, we hope that we can change the system and we can have special educated chess teacher with tertiary educational level, bachelor's, at least bachelor's or master's. But now we don't have enough specialists in chess. That's why we use license method for that.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Juan Manuel Gatica, Navarrete, ask about the ideal investigation model. Do you have?
Yes. I discussed with that's our colleague. Ideal model for me. Ideal model is
also.
Perfect model is cognitive LabMóvel, but I haven't used it yet. Particularly when you can observe and discuss with students during the lesson, during the game, what they feel, what they have gathered, and simultaneously they can observe the emotional expressions, and we can triangulate the data that we gathered and we get from many sources. But normally, there is no ideal model. Each researcher should decide for himself which is best fit for him or her. So there is no ideal model, the answer. Did you hear? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Antonio Landa, I have but ask about if you have some rating for teachers. I don't know what he means.
No,
about that.
We don't have.
But
we just have how many years these particular teachers can teach. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and sometimes 5 years for best teachers. 4 and 5 years. But we don't use rating method for teachers.
Okay. Leo Pasqualini asked about the correlation between IQ and chess abilities. Do you have make any study about that?
IQ, yes, Raven's method. Angela says about that. They use Raven's IQ metrics, and they compare the results with chess results. But maybe if you need more detailed explanation, you can visit our website and find Angela Armena's and other research papers in order to find what is best for you. Yes, there are some researches devoted to that. But IQ, to be honest,
okay,
the IQ
thank you very much.
is more the most criticized thing from my point of view, because IQ does not guarantee well-being, does not guarantee that you will be IQ. That's why in psychology we use IQ and emotional quotient too, IQ and EQ, and then they used it together. Then they decided that etc. I don't want to go in details with that. So IQ is not the best thing. Maybe chess is more appropriate tool for comparing humans' intellectual skills than IQ tests. To be honest, I believe that chess best fits for
Okay.
measuring intellectual skills.
Okay, it's good for us. Okay, thank you very much. Before giving the word to Dr. Valerio Brusamolin, I want to thank you, Mr. Sargsyan. It's a pleasure to hear you, to see you here. My best regards to Smbat. I'm always happy to know about the news in Armenia. Thank you very much, Serop Kashatrian. It was a pleasure to see your speech. It was fantastic. The same with Angela and Armini. Thank you very much. Congratulations for your work and your presentation here. Thank you very much. Yeah. Dr. Valerio.
Obrigado, Jaime. Obrigado pela sua colaboração, fazendo aqui a nossa mediação e a tradução dos pesquisadores. Thank you very much, Mr. Vahan, Sirop, and Angela. I forgot the name of the third researcher, but we surely enjoyed a lot your research, and your contribution to our meeting is very significant. Thank you very much. Obrigado, Jaime, pela sua colaboração. Obrigado aos participantes pela audiência. Espero que essa palestra não fique apenas por aqui e ela traga contribuições e, na sequência, nós possamos aproveitar alguma coisa para melhorar e contribuir com as nossas pesquisas também no Brasil. Então, obrigado a todos e até a próxima apresentação. Nós vamos divulgar por e-mail. Por favor, fiquem atentos aos seus e-mails. A próxima gravação, nós também vamos fazer uma antecipação por conta da diferença de horário. Será gravado com o professor Gobet. E nós aumentamos em um dia o nosso evento. Seria terça, quarta e quinta. Nós vamos começar na segunda-feira, dado que surgiram mais algumas palestras muito interessantes que nós tivemos de aproveitar e exibi-las no nosso evento. Então, obrigado a todos e até a próxima. Tchau.
Tchau, tchau.
Tchau.
Obrigado. Obrigado, Valério.